You've seen those craziness in headlines in regards to prices in real estate. There's fear in potential market crash, fear in interest rate, and in mortgage lock-in effect. Today we're going to take a deep dive on what's going to happen to prices as we move forward through this year and going into next year. Hi, my name is Jason Sun, your source-to-source real tuber. It's important to understand what's going on in the real estate world at a national level so that we can better prepare ourselves for the coming months. Just like my slogan, in sold we trust, we are going to see what the data has been recorded, and with that data, we can make a probable projection. Now let's go back to today's deep dive of 2023 home prices. What has happened in the first half of this year and what will happen in the second half. And we have a couple of forecasts going forward. Now this is the 48-year average monthly price movement. It does not include this year and doesn't include last year, because last year was a little bit of an anomaly, as you will see here in shortly. But over the last 48 years, this is what has happened to prices. As the spring buyer's market comes in, prices actually rise month over month at a higher number. Then as the summer hits and demand lessens to a degree, prices don't rise as much. They don't appreciate, but the level of appreciation is decelerating. This is what happened last year. As you can see, we were blowing away the 48-year average with an unhealthy amount of appreciation for the first couple of months. And what that necessitated was us turning around and saying, hey, we have to make a correction. During that correction, a lot of headlines were saying crazy stuff, and the impact that had on the consumer was we went into this year with a higher percentage of Americans thinking prices were going to fall than any other year since this study's been done in 2010, and it's almost doubled any other year. So it's important to note that we were coming out into this year with a lot of fear from the buyers. Now the interest rates and the mortgage lock-in effect was also stopping some people from putting their house on the market. And even though it's gotten better since last December, 1 of 4 still believes prices will depreciate. Now, if a homeowner believes that the prices are going to fall, or a buyer believes that the prices are going to fall, then they are not buying anything. It's important for us to fully understand what has taken place and what's going to take place in the future. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at prices in 2023 so far. This is the Case-Shiller Index for this month, and what you could see is the year over year up in the right hand corner. We could see that prices for the first time in a long time dropped to below what they were last year. Now again, remember, this is May compared to last May. Last May things got crazy, some of the highest prices we've ever seen. So compared to last May, we haven't really caught up yet, but we were close, a lot closer than a lot of people are going to predict. And I haven't broken down here the cities that actually saw depreciation year over year. But if we look at month over month, a more recent look of what's happening in each one of these cities, if we look at the month over month, we can see that 19 out of the 20 cities have already shown appreciation. Now the only city that hasn't is Phoenix, and we'll talk about Phoenix here in a second. But Phoenix, they've only dropped 0.1% month over month. So year over year, those headlines are going to be a little bit scary, yes, but in reality, that's comparing now to last year. Now let's talk about where prices are going right now, month over month. Now here's a chart that I wanted to show you, and I think it's really important. Those are the 10 cities in that year over year showed depreciation from the chart I showed you earlier. Now that middle column is where they stand month over month. And again, we can see that every one of those cities are starting to show appreciation again, except for Phoenix. Now, when we look at Phoenix, we can look up there and we can see the appreciation going back to March of 2020. See how much of houses appreciated? It's kind of interesting because I really can't feel bad for Phoenix. I know they're having a little bit of struggle right now, but since March of 2020, prices in Phoenix were up 54% in the last 3 years. Now here in Dallas, there was a 50.8% appreciation since March of 2020. So this whole fear that, you could buy a house and lose money, well, if you bought it last May, you're just about coming even in Dallas. And if you bought a house 3 years ago, you're going to be sitting on a tremendous appreciation. So if you bought it 3 years ago or a year ago, you just need to hold on and you will start seeing the level of appreciation. Now, San Francisco had the lowest run in the past 3 years at 27.6%, but that's because their prices were going up long before the last 3 years. Now, if we look at the last 3 years as a nation, up in the upper right hand corner as a nation prices, we are up 41.8%, and that's not just those 10 cities, that's the entire nation. So why is that important? Well, the major reason that it's important is the fact that homeownership is a wealth builder. I always say that families' wealth is dramatically tied to their home ownership, and this is giving you an example over the last 3 years why that is. Now, I'm not expecting appreciation like that over the next 3 years. There are times that things are relatively flat at 4% or 5% appreciation. And then there are other times that you make a lot of money by owning a house and your net worth will go up pretty dramatically. Now here's a chart, and I want to show you a preponderance of evidence that yes, prices went up too high at the beginning of the last year as shown in the left hand side of the graph. Now they adjusted last fall and winter, as you can see in the middle of the graph, and now they're starting to appreciate again at the right hand portion of the graph. Now here's another example from Zillow, as many of you are familiar with. Now they are saying the same thing. Some people I think that Zillow is the greatest thing that ever happened in the world. And some people think that Zillow is the devil's incarnate. Whatever it is, you decide. And again, this isn't a forecast out, this is what's already happened. Now I'm gonna repeat it. Things got crazy at the beginning of last year and then there was a correction. We are going back to normal appreciation now. Now the black bar shows the 48-year average, the orange bar shows the 2022 appreciation, and the green bar shows the current year's appreciation. And I think that green bar is going to keep on getting a little bit closer to that black bar because I think we are going back to a normal market. Now the last 2 years from the middle of 2020 to the middle of 2022 was what we call a unicorn years. That was just crazy appreciation. And now we're going back to more normal appreciation, which is going to be good for real estate. So now let's take a look at the forecast going forward, and this is important because last year all those crazy headlines caused that fear that we talked about earlier. So this year I want to let you know what the forecast is, and I'm going to give you a little warning about the headlines, about what the headlines are going to be, so that we are better prepared this year to handle than we were last year. Strong price gains this spring also suggests that overall home price appreciation for 2023 is exceeding many additional expectations. Now that's from Selma Hepp, the chief economist at CoreLogic. Now what is she saying? She's saying that, you know, what they said was going to happen at the beginning of the year, now that we are in the middle of the year, a lot of people are changing their mind. So let's take a look at some of those players. The Mortgage Bankers Association said in December prices were going to fall by 0.6%. Now they are saying it's probably going to be flat. Fannie Mae thought in December that they were going to drop 1.5%. Now they're saying they're going up 3.9%. Morgan Stanley in December said they were going to go down 4%. The latest projection is now saying, well, they're probably going to be a little flat. Well, so again, those negative projections are turning, and AEI, which is one of the people that were saying prices are going to fall 15 to 20% in December, now they're saying prices are going up by 6% by the end of the year. Now, as far as going forward, there are two groups that are looking 12 months ahead. CoreLogic says prices are going up 4.5% compared to May of this year, and Zillow is saying it's going up by 6.5%. Now, Zillow's projections in the past have been a little aggressive, but I think we can see a 4 to 5% range. Now, let's take this to a city level here in Dallas, Texas. I'm not including the whole Dallas-Fort Worth Arlington area, and I just want to focus on the Dallas Metroplex. There are some key differences in the data, and I think it's better to see them individually. Now, start off with the total listings count. There were a total of 5,871 total listing count as of June 2023. Of that, there were 3,217 active listings. The median listing price was $606,445, and the median price per square foot was $250. Now, from initial listing to closing, it took about 36 days total, and the median months of inventory was 2.3 months, meaning if we didn't have any new listings coming into the market, it would take about 2.3 months to deplete our current house inventory. We've taken a deep dive on the real estate market on a national scale, as well as what's currently taking place here in Dallas Metroplex. It's important for us to have a proper tool and strategy in navigating these waters. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful real estate discussions in the future. As always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like for us to cover in the future videos, Feel free to drop them in the comments section below, and I will see you with more data-driven updates in the future. And remember, in Sold we trust. I'll see you in the next video.